Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to get started right, or we are going to get started again, restarted. And that's the beautiful part about this business, is that every single day you can restart your business. My name is Annie Schwartz, and I am a 2-star national marketing director with Nerium International. I got started with Nerium about 5 years ago when my husband brought this product home. He brought home the night cream. We had one product at the time 5 years ago. And he said, you know, my sister wants me to give this bottle a try for my skin. And it was unusual that he brought product home because I'd never seen him use anything. So we took his picture and we basically went through the prospecting process of becoming a brand partner or a product user. And how that looks is his sister said, hey, I'd love you to try this product. I'd love your opinion. And Robert said, okay. So he brought it home and we had a couple of very easy directions to follow. One was wash his face, which was challenging. The second was put the product on. And the third was let it dry and go to bed. And do that for 5 nights in a row. And after the 5 nights, take your after picture. And Robert immediately started to feel a difference in the course of those 5 days on his skin and his, just the different texture changes and things that were happening with his skin. And I didn't believe it. I thought it was, I didn't try it with him. He was the one trying it. So I didn't really have the experience. But we did take his picture after the 5th day, and miraculously we saw some pretty big changes. And then I actually kind of killed that whole thing by saying, well, you've never really put anything on your face. Maybe you're getting such a reaction because your skin is sort of thanking you for doing something. But as time went on and he continued to use the product, his skin started to get better and better. And of course, then I had to try the product. In the meantime, he got curious about the product and the business. He's very entrepreneurial, and so am I, and he went to hear some information. And so as a new brand partner or somebody who wants to restart your business, it's a good story to know that, you know, Robert and I went through a couple of different exposures in order to come to a decision on why we wanted to get started with Nerium. So when we did make the decision to do it, we kind of went through the system and decided that we were going to follow the system. We were going to follow what this millionaire maker, Jeff Olson, who was our founder, had told us what to do. And there was a system in place. And even though we were entrepreneurial, and even though we thought that, you know, we were good business people, we decided that we were just going to follow the system. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is what we follow every single day. And the first thing that I've incorporated into that is gratitude. One of the things that I've learned through Nerium is that happiness is the precursor to success. And having a good mind and having a strong mind and personally developing yourself is really the key to success in everything in your life. So every single day I do gratitudes, and I do at least 3 of them. You can do whatever you want, but it doesn't have anything to do necessarily with Nerium. It just has to do with you having a good mindset and being a happier person. So when I first went to see this company and take a look at it, one of the things they talked about was belief. And they talked about why it was important that you had a belief system in what you were doing. It didn't matter if it was Nerium, it just was anything that you were doing, whether it was, you know, whatever your career was, you had to have a strong belief that you could, you know, do it. And so I really, at the beginning, when our founder, I had gone to see him speak very early on. They had a big convention that was almost, you know, it was the first year. So there was barely anybody there, but there was 3,000 people there. And I say barely because now they have, you know, rooms of 20,000. So he spoke a lot about belief, and he spoke about the strength that you need in terms of business every day, and how, you know, the influence of our world out there are very, very negative. And so that you have to have your own personal belief. We all sort of think in ourselves, gee, I'd love to own my own business, but I'm afraid to do it because what if I failed? You know, so one of the things that I thought was a key factor in the whole Nerium experience was the belief in not only myself, but if I didn't have that belief, there was a tremendous amount of people around me that I could borrow their belief. And that's what we did. We borrowed the belief of the people that we knew that brought us into Nerium, and we stuck with it. We decided that, we were going to try this, and it wasn't a short-term try. We didn't go into it with, oh, I'm going to give it a month and see if this works. We looked at it as a serious business. And, our investment was not that much. You can obviously, you get in as little as $500, but for us, it was more like this was a long-term play. We knew that if you got involved in a business early, it doesn't matter what it is, and it actually works and people like it and it naturally networks, that over time you could build yourself something pretty exciting. And we had never been in a company that went worldwide. I owned my own talent agency. My husband had a mortgage business, and it was very controlled environment in terms of where we could go with that. It was never going to be an international business. So our belief in the beginning was through our excitement of starting a business. Our belief was, all the newness of it, but really the strength of the belief came from the people around us. And so that's a unique selling proposition in any company, I think, because most of the time that you do business, it's definitely you're on your own, and you have to come up with your own, you have to become a master of what you do, or you get fired or replaced. So this is a great opportunity to build a business and have a tremendous support team around you. The second thing that our founder told us was desire. He said, you have to have a burning desire in business to do great things. You have to get up every morning and want to get there early and want to stay late on your own. You want to be self-motivated to do the things that you want in your life. So, how do you get that strong desire, and how do you build that belief, and what do you have to do to get there? And so you have to be able to be coachable. And that was something that, I've learned over the last 5 years what that really meant. So when I got started with Nerium, I was a business owner of my own business, and I felt like I was very, very entrepreneurial. I felt like there wasn't a whole bunch for me to learn. I'm in my 50s, and I was a little closed down about being coached. I wasn't as open as I should have been in the beginning to just, really listen to other people, no matter who they were. They had a lot more experience in this particular industry than I did. I'd never done it before. So I have learned over the last 5 years that being coachable makes you a great coach. And, the more you're open to learning things and learning what works and learning why it works is really an enhancement to your success. So being coachable is incredibly important. So we have our belief, we have our desire, we have being open to being coachable. And then I learned about why it was important to have smart, small goals in my daily life. Goal setting, SMART goals, is now actually taught in school I think my son started learning SMART goals when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade. And this is something that in education, they take very, very seriously. So it's not quantum leap goals. It's not, okay, I'm going to be a straight A student on day one. It's about writing down specific things that you want to have happen that are measurable and attainable and realistic and that you can achieve. So, for me, when I got started, I was told, write down why you're doing this business. And if you're already in Nerium, or you have somebody that might want to restart their business, or somebody that came into your business and didn't quite, follow the system, one of the main things that I always want people to do when I sponsor them is to tell me why they want to do this business, and write it down and send it to me via email, or however they, want to write, maybe mail it to me, whatever they want. The reason why I like them to write it out is because when I wrote it out, I really got specific in why I wanted to do this business, because at the time, I was busy. I had my own talent agency. I had a lot going on. So your why is really, really important. And the second thing, as a new brand partner or somebody restarting their business, is to make a list of 100 people. And the reason why you do that is because very often we think to ourselves, we don't know anybody. We have our circle of friends, our circle of people that we see on a more regular basis. And we're kind of like, I don't know if I know that many people. Well, the great thing is, in our success planner of Nerium, they give you a memory jogger. And this memory jogger is awesome because it really does go kind of down the list of almost every single person that has either touched your life or could be touching your life or has touched your life in many, many ways, from the gardener to, you know, the grocery store cashier to the accountant, anybody that you've ever come across. And so that list of 100, you'd be surprised on, you know, what you come up with. And the reason why you come up with that list is because you're going to start exposing people to your business, just like you would if you opened a restaurant or you opened any kind of a store. You would want to expose it to the world. You wouldn't just expose it to your, you know, the 5 friends that you have around you. And the reason why is because you want not only your friends, but you want everybody to know what you're up to. And then the third thing in your goal setting for getting started right is scheduling 2 launch events in the next 24 hours so that you're launching your business immediately. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the people on your list that are in your immediate area and you're going to invite them to an event at your house. It's called a Real Results Party. If you can't do a Real Results Party, it's not mandatory, but it's a way of really getting a lot of people over to your house in the first, you know, 24 to 48 hours to share with them some information, because this business is not about selling anything. It's more about, you know, taking people from not knowing to knowing. And so in the first 24 hours, you want to get out your calendar and you want to set up some ways to get to your people. So if it's not going to be an event in your house, then you're going to meet people for coffee. You might sit at Starbucks for a couple of hours and meet people every 45 minutes or every hour. Just make sure that you're drinking decaf because you'll be out of your mind with caffeine. And you want to start exposing people to the product. You want to start exposing people to the information and maybe a video. You want to expose people to a story. There's lots of different ways to share the information, and we'll get into that in a bit. But those are my SMART goals for getting started right. So they're very simple. You can do them on your own time, and they will absolutely launch your business for you. So we talked a little bit about the why, but this is something in our system that's very, very important. And as I said, the why is something that you want to write down, maybe send it to your sponsor, maybe send it to yourself, or keep it on your board. But you really want to talk about things that are significant in why you would want to own your own business. So there's lots of reasons. You know, people usually have a time or a money problem, and they've been dealing with that money or time problem for many, many years. And they've dreamed about a way that if they had a little bit extra income, maybe that could change the way they lived or where they lived or what school their kids went to, or maybe created some sort of a vacation or some kind of lifestyle change that they've always wanted. And so it doesn't have to be quantum leap in your why, because your why changes all the time, but it has to be significant enough so that you won't give up on yourself. Because oftentimes when there's any kind of discouragement in life, we tend to just say, I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to do it. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. I will tell you, I'll be honest, owning your own business is great because you know, there's a sense of doing something that's totally for yourself and you're building your own business, but it isn't easy. It isn't perfect. It doesn't have, it doesn't come without complication, but it actually helps you grow as a person, and it helps you deal with how you can take any kind of situation and work it out. And the great thing about a business like Nerium is that you have a tremendous amount of support around you to help. I love this slide because it really is the core of our business. It's all we do. And as you can see, it's a very simple system. And this was the system that we started out with 5 years ago. And we basically said, okay, how do we work this into our life? At the time, I was really, really concerned about the fact that I did not have a lot of time. So I didn't understand how I could work Nerium into my life. But I ended up very, very organically doing that. And so this is kind of an overview of things that we do, not that difficult, just consistently every day over time when we can. And very quickly, you know, you want to go through the success planner that you get, and it will take you through just those steps on being in our system. So we talked a little bit about building our list, and I always add to my list every single day, basically. I was saying the other day, both Robert and I, here we are 5 years into Nerium. You know, Robert is still a mortgage lender. I have some other business opportunities that I do as well. And always we're meeting people, so we're adding to our list. And so they call that your 10 in play. And basically, those are the people that you have isolated that you're taking through the exposure process. And over here, you can see that this is all we do. We have an event maybe at our house or at a Starbucks or whatever. We give somebody the product, we share a video, or we sit down and have a discussion and show pictures and things like that. It's a pretty simple system, and working it into your life, if you can follow it, is very, very successful. We talked a little bit about our launch of our Real Results parties at your house. They also can be 3 or free parties where they focus in only on the product for people that might just want to be customers. And I love those parties because we have products now. At the time when we got started, we had a night cream that, you know, gave a 5-day result to it. So it was a 5-day feel-good result, and then a 30-day, you know, you could really see the difference. But we have a product now in our eye serum that is literally a 5-minute result. And so a 3 or free party is amazing, because what that does is, if you have some people over your house that are really interested in your products, by you getting 3 people, you are now set up to get your products for free the very next month, and so on as you build your customer base. And your customer base ends up being long-term in Nerium, the most important thing, because that's your residual income. So your launch party and then helping other people to launch their parties and their business is really how you build this business. So I talked a little bit about the tools, support, and leadership. And so these are the types of things that you have in your arsenal as you grow your business. It's not what I expect anybody to do day one, but these are the things that you have to learn what this business is all about. I did not do it day one. All I did was have parties. All I did was see people. All I did was share my product in the beginning. When I started my business, and every time I restart my business, this is what I do. I just share my products, and that's all I do. But I also know that I've grown in this business and learned this business by utilizing my sponsor, by getting to know my upline, by getting to know other people in the business, by having a mastermind group. I've learned to go in the back office and reacquaint myself with new brand partner training. They have Nerium University every single week, a new one, so that they give all the top leaders in the company, give top tips on how to do this business. Every single month in most every single city and state in our United States, and in every country now that we're in, we do regional training, which are about 4 hours, and it's once a month, where we come together as a group and we train together. Market parties is an amazing way to learn about this business, because it is a very short overview of the business and the products, and you hear other people's stories on how they've been successful. The Real Results parties are what you do in your home, and that's another way to get better, just get better at sharing the product. You're on this Zoom right now, so Zoom events and trainings always are happening, and every single week we have a corporate call with our company. So these are things that you have at your disposal. I don't think it's mandatory when you get started, the minute you get started, to tap into every single thing here, but it is something that you have when you need it. And that's what I loved about Nerium, is that I was so excited just to share the product. I didn't even look in my back office for probably the first month. I really had no idea what it was all about. I didn't really care. I just thought, what do I have to do to get to the first rank? What do I have to do to make my money back? What do I have to do to help somebody, experience my product? And so basically all that was making my list, having a couple parties, and sharing this amazing product with them. And that's all we do every single day. That's all we do. Now, I always think that, I love this slide because it says, don't just dream of success, create a plan and act upon it. Your momentum creates the door upon which opportunity knocks. Because you're in Nerium, because you made the decision to become in Nerium, you had a dream of what you wanted to do. And you absolutely have a plan here. You have a plan of action that if you follow it, you will have success. Will you have success day one? Probably not. Will you have success month one? maybe you'll make your money back if you follow the system. You'll make your money back and you'll be on to building a team. But your honestly true success will come as you build yourself as a person, as you develop yourself as a leader, as you learn about working alongside other people and encouraging them and helping them to achieve success. The biggest way to succeed in life is to help other people succeed. So that's really all we do, guys. And I know that that probably was about 20 minutes of your life this morning, and I so appreciate you spending time with me. But as you can see, there's not a whole lot to the success of a Nerium Brand Partner. How you achieve that success is by following the system and making it simple. And so with that, you guys, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you spending time with me this morning. I hope you got some great information to help you start your business or restart your business. And of course, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact me by phone, by text, by email, and I'll be there to help you succeed in the Nerium experience. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye now.
Thank you, Annie.